Um, man. So like for the last like week, um, I've been driving myself crazy, trying to get everything in order for this announcement that I've literally been talking about on the show for, man, probably a month, at least a month. And you guys heard me, you know, not really want to, leak shit and not really want to speak too much on details. But if you didn't notice, we had a massive announcement on Music Mondays. We'll be having our first URL live online show in the Music Mondays Discord and here live on Twitch. It's called Cyberfest. Basically, this was a vision that I had for Music Mondays for quite a long time. Now, just as a little background on Cyberfest and to really discuss what's going on and basically the idea behind this, and it's kind of interesting, right? Because in 2020, when COVID made that first like official just like crazy wave, right? And a bunch of people were getting sick, places were shutting down, yada yada yada. The one thing that the underground turned to, as well as platforms that I was involved in, were URL shows and live Discord performances and things of that nature. And that was something that was really successful. And we sort of refined it as we went on, right? Because, that wasn't just a one-time thing. We kept doing them, throughout 2020, 2021. And then it just kind of dropped off. You know what I mean? Like, it really just kind of stopped. like there was no more URL shows. People just kind of stopped doing them. Regardless of the reason, whether that be like, COVID sort of ran its course, or fucking, whatever's people's perception was, you know what I mean? Like, it just kind of fizzled out for some strange reason. So when I started Music Mondays in 2021, at the start, because as many of you know, and if you don't know, Music Mondays was originally just a podcast. This was Zomb Slays Music Mondays. Like, it wasn't like a full platform yet. And then eventually in early 2021, I kind of took a new approach with it because, I was already a manager for like 3 years at that point. And I knew how to group platforms. I knew how to interact with artists. I was an artist myself. I knew the ins and outs of underground politics. So I knew that I was in a position to really finally do something on my own in regards to building a platform, right? And not with a team, and sort of be really the foundation for a platform like Music Mondays. So when I had started Music Mondays, I really knew that a URL show was something that I wanted to do instantly. It wasn't like my first thought, obviously, but it was definitely something, you'll be up at like 2, 3 a.m. and you'll be thinking, damn, you're like, yeah, like that's a good ass fucking idea. And, fast forward to August of 2022, right? Which is like fucking a year and 8 months. It's like, damn, like, for like sort of like the first year of Music Mondays, it was really laying down the foundation. And now I was able to really curate enough artists and really bring a team together to want to actually get involved in an event like this. And the thing is like, there were so many people that had like zero fucking idea what a URL show was, what, a Discord festival was, and things like that. And that sort of like blew my mind, right? Because I was like, damn, like it's not on people for not knowing. It's on like the platforms and like the groups and like people just randomly stopping URL shows. You know what I mean? Like just because like everybody felt like COVID was, quote unquote, not in their life anymore, everybody just felt the need to just not do these. And as we all know, the world's kind of shit, you know what I mean? So you want to go out and like do things and like really like do them on your own accord. And sometimes people want to, you know, take a different approach, right? And people want to, you know, be able to do things but don't, want to go out sometimes. And there are people that want to do these things that do go out. You know what I mean? It's really all inclusive. And that's like the really golden thing about URL shows is like you don't have to pay to get in. There's no like pain in the ass of like driving to venues. If you're a performer, there's no like really shitty setup, and it's really what it sounds like. You know what I mean? It's very much a virtual performance. And unfortunately something like COVID popularized that. And it was something that I always knew that was going to really be beneficial in the long term, going forward. Just, even for people that are like, far away from you, you know what I mean? Like having the ability to perform with people from like the UK or like, even across the country, you know what I mean? Like California to like New York type shit. Like that shit doesn't really happen a lot unless you're like already established and like, maybe you're spending all your bread to go do shit like that. So virtual performances and URL festivals really like bring people together and really like it's almost like a convention for artists, right? Like it's like just a bunch of people mingling, a bunch of people enjoying good music, a bunch of people interacting, popping in and out of the Discord, following each other, learning each other's music, and just like having a good time in the comfort of their own home, but feeling like they can be a part of something. And I don't think we need COVID to really popularize that. I don't think we need a fucking horrible infection to, do these types of things. You know what I mean? I think these are a great way to bring artists together and really bring people a good time and really put on for artists in a cost-friendly way. You know what I mean? Because Music Mondays is a very like online and in-person platform, because as many of you know, I've already been over it multiple times about, throwing shows with other platforms, like, shows in Chicago, shows in Atlanta, URL shows. Like, I have experience in throwing both, and that's something I definitely am going to apply to Music Mondays. So URL shows are basically not only like a way to bring people and artists together, but it's also a way to like get people ready for an in-person Music Monday show, right? Because you can enjoy the fuck out of a URL festival and it's gonna make you want to push it to the next level and be like, damn, like I can't wait to do that in person, And the more we do URL festivals, the more people are going to really appreciate Music Mondays bringing you these very underground artists live, So this is a real catalyst, and there aren't many platforms really going out of their way to organize events like this, especially free of cost. You know what I mean? Everybody's so money oriented these days, and not that that's a bad thing ultimately, right? When you're an individual, that's not a bad thing whatsoever. But if you're like a platform out here and you feel the need to like, take from underground artists to really like put them on, that's just ridiculous. You know what I mean? That's why things like URL shows and the way that Music Mondays moves will be the way that we forever do things, because we all know the Music Mondays vision, and if you don't, there's plenty of YouTube videos on it. I won't get into super detail right now, but you guys know what that means to me, and the proper way to do things, and how Music Mondays is going to be the premier platform for new and established underground music, of all kinds, and not just music, art, media, everything. So very important. So like I said, Cyberfest is live. That was basically the announcement that I had hidden away for a while. We have a total of 30 plus artists going live. It's going to be from 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time to about midnight Eastern Standard Time on Friday, September 2nd, 2022. For those of you watching on YouTube, I'm going to link everything in the description. For those of you who are watching live, you can just do !Cyberfest and you'll be able to check out all the information and really see what's good, see the details, see who's performing, how you can get involved. Essentially, just join the Music Mondays Discord. Check out allmusicmondays.com. Make sure you check our socials for more information. We're still a couple of weeks out, so there's going to be more details coming out in the future. Maybe some alternative flyers, cool shit like that. But basically, the most important thing is you're following this channel, Zomb Slays, the home of the Music Mondays podcast, and you join the Music Mondays Discord. So that way, you don't miss the show, man. Because, basically, I wanted to make sure we have at least like a recording of the performance, right? You can get involved in the Discord, and that's to really, be as hands-on as possible with everybody, and see everybody's live performances and things like that. And we'll be broadcasting it on Twitch, so everybody will have footage of their sets, and we'll be able to throw it on the Music Mondays YouTube channel and really have an archive of our first URL festival, man. So this took a while to plan. Definitely was something that, it went as smoothly as it could, for real. Like it was definitely rough. So huge shout out to the Music Mondays staff for helping as much as possible. A huge shout out to every artist that wanted to get involved. I reached out to several. A lot of us reached out to several artists. Some said yes, some said no. And we basically picked a decent lineup based off of that. And you'll see a lot of familiar faces on here, you know what I mean? Because a lot of these people do want to get involved in things like that. So, if you haven't seen the flyer, make sure you go check it out. It's available on our Twitter, Instagram, basically all of our socials. And like I said, if you're watching on YouTube, it'll be linked down below. So Friday, September 2nd is the motherfucking day. Expect lots of details in the coming weeks. Expect lots of stuff. Cyberfest 2022, man. Let's fucking get it. So that was a huge announcement, you know what I mean? Like, Cyberfest was big. Cyberfest was something that was like, fuck, you know what I mean? Like, it was... It could be stressful trying to, get an event organized like that, So I appreciate everybody that wanted to get involved, and we're gonna have a really good time, for sure. So, we'll definitely be speaking more on Cyberfest in the coming weeks on the podcast. I'm gonna hopefully get a couple of guests here on the show this month for Workshop Wednesday and Feature Friday. Underground Classics Volume 2, which, if you don't know, is our premier playlist of basically staff picks of songs that they consider to be underground classics that introduce them to the underground scene. Volume 2 of that, which is our monthly playlist, will be dropping this month as well. Dr. Freon, Music Monday staff curator, curated that as well. So keep your eyes peeled for that. Basically, just make sure you're following Music Mondays on everything, all socials, at All Music Mondays. Lots of updates coming, lots of good stuff coming this month. Stay tuned, man. Stay tuned. So, that's what's up with fucking updates, chat. No article this week, of course, but expect an article on Cyberfest. Expect pretty much everything regarding Cyberfest and more detailed information coming out in the future days. So, I think that does it for updates, I want to say. I don't think there's much else that we have to go over. I think we're good to go.